I want to do a couple of the word problems for you that were put on the review sheet. Those were word problems out of section 3.2, pages 193, 194. And I want to look first at problem 24. This is a classic mixture problem. The problem reads, a grocer needs to mix raisins at $2 per pound with granola at $3.25 per pound to obtain 10 pounds of a mixture that costs $2.50 per pound. How many pounds of raisins, how many pounds of granola must be used? So we're mixing some raisins and we're mixing some granola, and let's say we're gonna make that a trail mix, right? Mixing raisins and granola to make a trail mix. And we want to know how many pounds of raisins, so let's call that X, how many pounds of granola, let's call that Y, to make 10 pounds of the trail mix. And the raisins cost, let's see, what's the figure for raisins? Raisins are $2 a pound. The granola is $3.25 per pound. And we want to sell the trail mix at $2.50 per pound. Well, if we have two unknowns, we typically want to create two equations so we have a system that we can solve. Well, isn't there one equation that we can write down right away? If we want to end up with 10 pounds of the mixture, isn't that coming from the X pounds of raisins that we mix together with the Y pounds of granola? Couldn't we say that X plus Y has to equal 10? Wouldn't that be an obvious equation we could write? The X pounds of raisins plus the Y pounds of granola has to equal the 10 pounds of trail mix we want to make. So there's one equation. Now I just need to create another equation. Well, in a problem like this, typically you then want to try to make an equation that relates to money. And the money that you have, what you could say, invested in, or the money that you would receive from selling the product separately versus selling the product as the mixture. If we sell all 10 pounds of the mixture at $2.50 a pound, aren't we going to make $10 pounds times $2.50 a pound? Isn't that how much money we're going to make, which would be what, $25? If we sell all 10 pounds of the trail mix at $2.50 a pound, we're going to make $25. Well, what would we have made had we sold the raisins at $2 per pound? Well, if we were going to sell them at $2 per pound and we have X pounds of raisins, wouldn't 2 times X express the amount of money we would have gotten from selling those raisins separately? $2 a pound times X pounds of raisins. We would have gotten 2X dollars out of selling those raisins separately. Plus, we would have gotten $3.25 Y if we would have sold the granola separately. $3.25 a pound times the number of pounds of granola we would have been selling separately. Instead, we're selling them as a mixture. So the money we would have gotten from the raisins plus the money we would have gotten from the granola, don't we have to counterbalance that with the money we're going to get from the trail mix? We don't want to lose money by selling the mixture. We want to at least have the same amount of money that we would have gotten by selling the items separately. And we have 2 equations that we can solve. Let's make that just a little simpler looking by putting the 25 in there. Now, can't we take that first equation and multiply it by -2? That would give us -2x minus 2y equals -20. And now we can add those equations. The x's are gone. 325 minus 2, isn't that $1.25? That's 125y equals 5. 25 plus -20 is 5. And so isn't y going to be 4? Isn't 4 times $1.25 $5, if you want to think of it that way? 4 times $1.25. So y equals 4. And y was representing the number of pounds of granola. So we're going to mix 4 pounds of granola then with what? 6 pounds of raisins to make our trail mix? So we might say something like this. The trail mix will be 6 pounds of raisins and 4 pounds of granola. Remember, we want to add some words to the numbers to give the numbers meaning when we solve an applied problem such as this.